My name's Edward Oliphant. I want to tell you what it's like to be an EMT and share a day in my life with you. I always show up to work early, and then the first thing I have to do is check my equipment. So I've got to go through every compartment, every box, every bag, and make sure that the equipment that is supposed to be there is there, that it's operational, it's not broken, it doesn't need fresh batteries, and make sure that we're ready to run any 911 call that could come through. Because from the moment I take over that ambulance, I'm responsible for whatever comes over the air. I kind of got into it by accident. I was doing some work that I wasn't really fulfilled by. I was waiting tables. I didn't see my future down the food service route. So I was trying to figure out what's the next move. And I knew I wanted a few things. I wanted something that was challenging, that was gonna ask me to be a better version of myself, that was gonna be fulfilling, that I could feel good about. And I wanted something that was gonna be fun and interesting. I didn't see myself sitting at a desk. And so while I'm trying to answer that question, like what's my next move? How do I get out of waiting tables? Somebody at my gym tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, this fire department here is gonna be hiring, and I think you'd be a good candidate. Have you ever considered doing fire and EMS? And I really hadn't, but when I started looking at what I wanted for my career field, for my next step in life, and what this role had to offer, it was like, oh, this is an obvious fit. So I got into it, I became an EMT and eventually a paramedic, and I've never looked back. And kind of the rest is history. EMT school is hard. You have to take in a whole lot of information in a short period of time. You're gonna have to learn a whole new way to speak, a whole new language of medical terminology. You're gonna have to learn about the human body, how the human body works, and then all the diseases that can occur and all of the injuries that can occur to the human body. And then you're gonna have to learn what are the tools in the toolbox that an EMT has to try to help people in that situation. This is one step on your path of becoming a proficient EMT. And you're gonna look back on this in a year or in 2 years, and you're gonna think, oh man, that was rough, but I'm glad I stuck with it. And there's gonna be days when you don't wanna study and you don't wanna read that long chapter with all that technical language, and there's gonna be days where you take a quiz and you don't perform as well as you wanted to on the quiz, and you're gonna ask, is this the right move for me? Am I doing the right thing? And what I've seen in my time in the industry is that people who are persistent tend to be more successful than people who have it easy. If you can show up in the face of a challenge and double up on your effort and keep moving forward, you're more likely to be successful than if everything just clicks into place super easy for you. Because the first time you meet a challenge, if you're not gritty and you don't have perseverance and you don't have passion, it's just gonna be a challenge for you. The only way you can lose is to give up. Otherwise, you're just a work in progress. And you just need to figure out what's the work that I need to do, what's the help I need to ask for, what can I do to attack this problem from a different angle and ensure my success. The good news is, and what's been really helpful for me, is I never had to do any of this alone. I always had people who were looking out for me, who I could go to, people who had been on the ambulance for a couple of years and I could ask questions to, my teachers, my guest lecturers, people who are coming into the classroom who were very happy to give me some of their time, to give me some inspiration, if that's what I needed that day, to help me understand a difficult concept when I was having trouble with a concept, and to keep me moving forward. And the best group of people you have are all of those students who are sitting next to you in class. They're going through exactly what you're going through, and there's gonna be something that you don't understand that your classmate sitting to your right gets, and they're gonna help you understand it. And then in 2 weeks, there's gonna be some concept that they're having trouble with, and you're gonna be the one who's able to help them understand it. So by leaning on the people around you, and by being gritty and having perseverance and sticking to it, you're gonna get to where you wanna go. And it's gonna be harder than you thought it was gonna be, but you can do it, you can make it. People who are able to meet that challenge consistently and have the compassion to show up day in, day out, year in and year out, and continue to give that compassionate care are people who have struggled themselves, because they know what it's like to be on the other side of that and to need a hand. Even what would be a mundane call, let's say that an older woman has fallen down and she's broken a bone in her leg. You get to show up in the middle of the night and you get to be compassionate and help her up and get her to a place where she can get the care that she needs. And you get to be kind and make her feel safe in a time when she feels afraid and vulnerable. And when she looks at you and she says, thank you, you know that it matters that you showed up to work today. EMS is a team sport. No 911 call gets run with one individual, so we've got to be able to work together as a group. And I need to be able to depend on the people that I'm working for to keep me safe, to help me do my job, and to have my back when things get tough. You're going to have some situations where you're close to tragedy, you're close to death, and that can take a toll on you. And you're going to want to be able to utilize the people around you and let them know when something's challenging for you. So you learn to work with other people's personalities, you learn how to communicate, you learn how to let the small stuff go and worry about the big stuff. So if you like to be challenged, if you want to be the best version of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally, if you want to feel like you're doing something that makes a difference in your community and really matters, if you want to be proud of the work that you do and you want to be proud when you tell people what you do for a living, and if you want to have fun and hang out with some fun characters and be surprised every day when you come to work, then this is the right role for you.